Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Thursday, June 27, 2013. We're looking at a couple of different charts today. I've been showing you the actual driver for the markets right now and how it's what it's telling you and why you should be looking for top signals and individual market averages and how to play it. Looking at the 10-year Treasury note yield, the TNX, if you right here, look at the ticker symbol. In this particular chart, you have something we've been talking about for a while. If you've been tracking the markets for any time period, you know that Japan, the Nikkei's market averages tanked substantially when their yields started to rise. We're seeing the same thing happen globally. So you're seeing it happen in the U.S., which is this chart, and then we're also seeing it in Europe and so forth and so on. And that's important. I told you to keep an eye on it. Yesterday I saw an article, or I should say last night, I saw an article out of Europe talking about how their I think it was Spain and Italy had seen their rates had pulled back a little bit, and so they were happy with that, and they were talking about how that was because the Fed now had reason to continue quantitative easing in the U.S. and so forth and so on. That's BS. That what's really going on here is just a consolidation. That's normal. You had a nice move up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consecutive days to the upside. No market moves straight up or straight down. So after you have an advance, you get a little consolidation. Notice you were trading above the upper Bollinger Band line here. Again, that would be calling for a pullback, a little tiny consolidation phase before advancing and continuing to move higher. What I want to know when I look at a situation like that is, do we have a shooting star at the top? Because that could tell me that we have some sell pressure and some reason to stop this advance, and here we do not have that. So again, I look at this as just being nothing more than a little tiny pullback before we continue to move higher. And of course that is confirmed by the actual ultimate oscillator as well, which is analyzing momentum. You can see the high point here, higher or equal or higher point here, and then a higher point here. So this is getting higher and higher, stronger and stronger. Price is confirmed here. This is not something that shouldn't be happening. And then also you'll notice here, you come up here and you get 4 days to downside, and you advance again. You get, what do you see here? No shooting star signal. You get dark cloud cover, if you will, and then 4 days to downside, and you advance again. Dark cloud cover, depends how you count it. You can count it from here, it's 4 already. If you count it from here, it's only been 2. But either way, this is a very short-lived correction here, and then you're going to see it start to move higher again. That means you're going to start to see the same things that people have been panicking about and talking about earlier last week and this week about Hong Kong Hang Seng Index and China's problems with the banking problems and their rates rising, in Japan and so forth and so on. That's going to start to come into play all over again, so pay attention to that. Okay, now we're going to be looking at the Hong Kong Hang Seng Index, and of course if you were trading last week, you know that every massive day to the downside that we saw by these guys was driving prices in Europe and the U.S. and everywhere lower, because they were basically panicking. And I was talking about it's because of the interest rates, and so if interest rates are pulled back and now preparing to start rallying again, you should start to see a sell signal show up on the Hong Kong Hang Seng Index. Okay, so this is important. And again, these charts are kept in the free website at PerfectStockAlert.com. You can check them out whenever you like, and I update them nightly. And you can see we have the black arrow indicating a sell signal has formed. We have a shooting star signal here. That would tell us to look for this to start to roll over, and that makes a lot of sense. We are in a very strong downtrend. We know that from looking at the ultimate oscillator, the high point peaking out at the 60 line. That's where you'd start to look for your peaks in a bear market. Whenever they're peaking at the 60 and unable to actually get up there to the 70 line like it used to, the market has changed. The momentum has changed stronger to the downside than to the upside, and you'll start to peak out at that 60 line like you just did. Jumping back to this side of the pond, looking at the U.S. market, the NASDAQ, I'm not going to cover them all because I covered them yesterday. If you want to see my market analysis for the U.S. markets, go watch yesterday's video. I told you that yesterday that we had seen one sell signal form on the major markets in the U.S., but we still had at least another day to the upside, and that was today. So we had that, and then we get today's activity, which is a sell signal, which we didn't see the day before, and so forth and so on. So that's important. That makes sense. Again, you're seeing that line at the 50-period moving average, which makes sense as well because you closed below that point. Therefore, what was once acting as support here is now going to be acting as resistance here. So that makes a lot of sense to us. You do still have a gap above you. I'm not telling you that you cannot press higher, but technically you have already peaked. You've already everything that was technically allowed to happen and made sense and you could anticipate has happened, and therefore I wouldn't be long this in any way, shape, or form. Also, again, note the same condition. High point here off the 60 line, 60 line, 60 line, and came really close to it today, and then we're backed off about 5 points from it. So this is the area that you'd be looking for that top. It makes perfect sense here. One of the other items that you're going to learn over time, just as you trade more and more, is to note that this situation right here is not healthy. You have a gap, another one, and another one, small candlestick formations. This could only be weaker if we had a gap from this point here to here and just form that candlestick. That's the only way to make that any weaker of a chart. This is a very weak chart in itself, and in fact, a single day could just do this, which means erase all of the past 4 days. So there's nothing here that would be something you would be buying or anything like that. You have global markets are just bouncing in a normal situation. They've already broken the uptrend. So you have this new downtrend formed here with lower series of highs, lower series of lows, and now you just making a lower high than you'd seen before. That's why my stop is set off at this point here. Any activity in this range, it doesn't make any difference. It's still a downtrend unless you can come up here and take out the previous high. And right now, we're not even close to doing that. Quick little announcement here. I've already added another trade tutorial video right here. You can check it out. I do them nightly now. They're only posted on the website, so you've got to go there to check them out, but they're worth your time. Okay? If you've not been to the free website at perfectstockalert.com, it's right there. It's 100% free, and all we ask in return, please refer a friend. Thank you very much for your guys' support. God bless. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.